Mr. Eggplant presents...
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thank you for checking out this video. And I have another Mythic Plus dungeon run to share with you guys, and this is from the current week. So it's a plus 14 timed Algeth'ar Academy, and the affixes are Tyrannical, Volcanic, and Sanguine. And I've been running with a new group over these last couple of days, so I am very unfamiliar with how they pull the dungeon. And you'll see it about halfway through between Crawth and Vexamus where there's a ton of DPS I left on the table. And that was kind of the main reason I started posting my Mythic Plus runs all the way back in BFA, was for me to watch them and see where I made mistakes, see where my positioning could have been better, and my cooldown and usage could have been better. And I'm going to learn a lot from this run, and I hope you guys do as well. So I am the Lust in this run, and I also picked up Versatility as my buff. So I ended up having 34% versatility for this dungeon. So here we let Fubar, the tank, pick up all of the adds, and I'm just going to send everything. My explosive shot went down, then I used volley, true shot, rapid fire, aim shot, rapid fire, and so on and so forth. And I will weave in a multi-shot every once in a while. It's more so my brain is still hooked on the beta when I've been really doing a ton of testing over these last couple of weeks. But here, like I said, we're just sending everything. Between the Frost DK and myself, and honestly, all 3 damage are doing amazing right now. We are melting all of this trash. Even though it's just a tyrannical set of trash, it's still going to do a ton of damage. Something I could have done better was making sure I was using a tar trap. I did put a binding shot down there, and I don't have my implosive trap. For whatever reason, I wasn't thinking about it, and I didn't put that on my in my build, so I need to do that in future. Those are just a few things that I could have done just a little bit better there. But all in all, we did really, really well. We're going to both end over 1.5 million. DPS, and we are ready for the boss. So in these next several videos, you're going to hear me talk about goals. And in this video, I have 3 goals plus a kind of like a sub goal, if you will. And I'm going to go ahead and keep Ucklock out here just because we're going to be lusting in the middle of the fight. I'm just going to keep it out. It's only a 5% DPS loss, and we're going to be doing a ton of damage on this fight. And also, I'm just going to use some aim shots, my precise shot procs, my rapid fire, but none volley or explosive shot or true shot. I want to save those for the ads, which will come out here in just a second, and we're going to go to the left. But my goal for this was to not run with Barrage, because Barrage isn't really good on Tyrannical weeks, just because you lose a ton of damage on bosses. So here we go. So I'm going to use my explosive shot, then volley, then true shot, and then I'm just cleaving off of the boss. We're doing some really, really good damage right now and extending that volley as much as possible. I'm here. I think I was just shy of 1.3 million, and then we're going to burst again here after the Frost DK is going to get a chance to burst on this next pull, or the next set of ads. And the other couple of goals were to try out Hydra's Bite over Bulletstorm, and then finally to just send True Shot constantly. It may not be up for all of the bosses, but I want to make sure and be practicing whittling down that cooldown, trying to get it to like a minute or a minute 10. That's what I was doing all the way back in BFA. So there we go. The Frost DK caught up very, very quickly, surpassed me, and absolutely annihilated all those ads. So we're looking at the boss's health. He's right at 25%, and then we're going to go to the left again. We had some people that were a little bit out of there, but that's a-okay. I dropped my volley here, and then I'm just going to cleave off the boss, and we are in bullseye range. So look at those stacks already stacked up. Going to be sure and watch out for the branch out ability there, and then just continue to do damage to the Ancient. I did go ahead and switch off to the branch there just a little bit, but I am AoEing so I can keep those stacks up. So all I have to do is hit the boss with my multi-shot. And then we're at 4% health left, and we are going to end this fight at over 1 million DPS, and we're going to go ahead and move over to Crawth, the bird boss. So I have my True Shot up. Something I should have done in this run was send True Shot on this ad. This ad does last a little bit longer. I need to get in the habit, and like I said earlier, that is the best way to increase your damage when you get to the War Within, is to just send True Shot. work on feeling comfortable with saying, okay, I can probably get 30 seconds off of it, so it'll be a minute and a half cooldown, and that's just going to come with repetition with playing the spec. So here I'm just going to dodge the blue circles there, turquoise if you will, and just going to continue to send some of my abilities here. Like I said, I should have used True Shot. This does last a little bit long, but all in all, we did really well in this dungeon, so I'm not going to complain one bit. And then the other kind of sub-goal that I had kind of spoken about. So my goals were obviously to send True Shot as much as possible, try Hydra's Bite over Bulletstorm, and then not use Barrage. But that sub-goal has to do with True Shot. So I want to try to not only send True Shot as much as possible, but always have it up for bosses or burn phases. For example, on Crawth, you have that burn phase once you dunk all 3 of the orbs. I'm in my head right now, I'm saying, let's go ahead and send it, because I could send it back in Season 4, no problem, with the 2-minute True Shot. And heck, if you're really good, you might be able to send True Shot on pull for the boss, and then have it up again for the burn phase. It'll be very close, but it's definitely possible. So here I'm just going to make sure and misdirect as much as I can to the tank. That way, nothing munches me, because this is where I tend to die, and you want to interrupt that calling the flock as much as possible. And I do have Intimidation on my bar, so I learned. I have my bursting shot on there as well. I don't use them as much as I should have, but we didn't really have much issue with Sanguine. So everybody did a really nice job of not taking Sanguine damage and also not standing the adds in it. And a lot of these adds were movable. So here I did commit my volley, and I know I'm going to hold my volley, and it's going to be volley and True Shot are what you want to hold on this fight. Just because one's that 45-second cooldown, and you want to have it up in theory for the boss burn phase, so you can just be doing that much more damage. So dodge the Gus here. We did have a little bit of some healing done there. I just realized that this one could have been purged, and I should have done that. Looks like somebody did get that off there though for me. And then we are already thinking about boss time. So I kind of did my goal so far inadvertently. This is not the boss that you really want to have True Shot up for the very beginning, but it is what it is. So now I'm going to ask myself, am I going to be using True Shot now on pull, or am I going to hold it for the burn phase? So this does give me a good opportunity to talk about my build, which I will put my entire build string down in the description of the video. I have my stat line, as well as any of the specialty bullion items that I'm using in this run. So here I sent my volley because I know we have at least 45 seconds before we push the phase, and I should have used True Shot here. I should have just used it, but this was me learning to basically hold on to it and just wait for that burn phase to guarantee it up when I want it most. So as we're continuing to melt the boss here, I'm not using any crazy abilities, but Crawth is melting pretty quickly thanks to the Frost DK. But looking at my stat line in this video, I have 50% base crit, 32% haste, 27% mastery when my blue silk linings are up, which I'm running 2 of, and 34% versatility thanks to the extra versatility buff we got at the beginning of the dungeon. And my uptime for blue silk lining was 67%, so that's a pretty good uptime in a +14. Also, this is about the time in the video where I found out we were doing a +14. Fun fact. So there, I knew we were going to take 3 of the Screeches. I can survive 2 without an external or without a defensive, but the 3rd one I need to use a defensive. So I did that. Luckily, that defensive has 2 charges now. So here we go. We have the burn phase comes out, so I drop down the volley. Here comes True Shot, and I'm just going to extend it as long as possible. We got it through the full True Shot there, so that worked out quite nicely. And Crawth is now down to 43% health. So that's already the first Screech, so I'm not too worried. I should have actually grabbed that orb that was behind me. I wasn't thinking about it. I'm used to the way my group does it, where we have the tank will grab one of them because it's usually right next to it, and then he's the one who eventually dunks at the very end to push the phase. But I did find out there that I'm not I don't have to be full health to not die to the second Screech, but again, I need to have a defensive for the third Screech, and we are getting to 25% health left on the boss, so we're thinking about Bullseye Zone right now. So we're at 22%, and we have one more. Here comes the Screech. I'm going to use my defensive and also use my Exhilaration, and then we are now in Bullseye range. So I have my True Shot coming up, so this is actually about perfect, because I want to have that True Shot up there. As I'm going to go ahead and grab this, because I was thinking we might need it now, and then I'm going to use my True Shot and commit everything. So we did dunk all three of those, and we still have the Screech coming out here, so I made sure I didn't hit what I thought was Karn, but it was just actually one of her treants. And then now we are just trying to survive and finish off the boss, and I just realized I'm still holding that orb. It's kind of funny to watch me just shoot rapid fires out of the middle of my chest. But there we go. Had some good damage on the boss there. I did get beat by the Frost DK. He did a really nice job. Ended that fight at 367k DPS. Again, I wasn't super comfortable there at the very end. I was expecting more of a stand around and do damage phase. But unfortunately, this is now the section of the video where it's easy for me to show you guys videos when I do really well. It's harder for me to show when I know I make mistakes or I don't know things and I'm learning. So that's what we're seeing here, because my guild that I've been pretty much doing content exclusively with, we go Vexamus, then Crawth, then Overgrown Ancient, then Echo of Doragosa, where we did Ancient first, then Crawth, then Vexamus. So I know how to pull all these from the other way, but I don't know how to pull them this way. What I should have done was went to the, past the tank here, past Fubar, and stand over there. I unfortunately didn't think about that. So again, learning things, and there, I kind of finally learned eventually. But if you do that, the Arcane Ravager will not jump, and it will not cast that breath towards the entire group. Now, that's kind of important to do so. There, we kind of threaded the needle in the worst possible way, but it is a-okay. It should have been me that's the one that's soaking those, and unfortunately it just wasn't. So here I'm losing. If you look at the damage, both of the other DPS are beating me by about 200k, which is pretty significant. It's not that I'm not doing damage and not have my cooldowns up. I'm just way far away, and I'm just a little uncomfortable now. And that's going to happen, particularly if you are somebody who goes ahead and pugs a bunch. You're not going to be comfortable with how everybody does their runs. So it was really kind of good for me to get in there with a completely different group and kind of learn things as I'm going along. So I did commit my True Shot here. I know I can probably get at least 2 True Shots before Vexamus. So that's something that's kind of in the back of my head right now. And then we are, I don't remember how big this pull gets. But the pulls were definitely bigger than we normally do in some of the dungeon runs I've done with Zaft and Drexit, which is great for me, but just, I don't know. I could have done better, I think. But again, hindsight's 2020, and I had a heck of a lot of fun in this dungeon run. One thing that if you stay over here like I was, you can have a chance to really screw yourself up with Volcanic by dropping a Volcanic there, where I could have kind of got knocked up, and then the ad would have jumped to me, and then we would have been in a lot more trouble. But the ads are almost down here. Looking at my True Shot, I have 15 seconds left on that. I have all my defensives. That's going to change here very soon. Rift Breath comes out there. It is healing just a little bit, but not a big deal. And we are going to do a nice big juicy pull, and by that I mean we are going to pull all the trash in front of Vexamus. And this was scary, to say the least. And when I said I was going to be out of defensives, that's why. So I went ahead and I started cleaving off of one of the Unruly textbooks, and then I'm just going to send everything. I'm hoping that we'll survive enough to have my my cooldown come back, and by cooldown I mean true shot. I'm going to continue to use those defensives. What I could have done was, you know, interrupted the thing that was doing the damage to me, but in the moment I was completely DPS brain. Had some really good damage on this pull, I have to admit. We have the lectures that are going out here, and then the lectures went out on everybody but me, it looks like. Or at least I didn't have the dot. So believe it or not, I survived this. That's, again, crazy to me, and that's because we had some B-reses go out there. But things that you really want to interrupt on these packs is that the book. I forget, I even just said the name of the ability, but you have to interrupt those, and we didn't, and we took a bunch of damage. So I could have done a better job of interrupting. You'll hear me say that every single time I'm in a key. So looking at my true shot, I'm at 20 seconds left. I will be lusting this boss. So I went ahead and had a clock out, getting ready to dismiss the pet there and lust, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can melt 164 million health worth of Vexamus. So my true shot wasn't quite up yet, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my orb here. I'm going to throw my volley down here in just a second, and then here comes my big burst thanks to true shot. So what I could have done here as well has been standing in Karm's healing circle there. That's something that I can always do a better job of. But I didn't get one of these circles, which is nice because they do a ton of damage to me, so I can just sit there and pump. I'm going to go ahead and go grab this one once it was safe to do so. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get double tapped and overlapped there. Vexamus is at 55% health, and we got some pretty good damage. We have to just make sure and dodge this mechanic here, and then get closer to your healer, because you're going to definitely need it, Tyler, in just a second. So here I got the bad overlap, which is great for us because I was able to deal with both of them thanks to Turtle. And if there were more orbs, I would have tried to soak those as well for the group. And then all I'm doing is just continue to do my rotation. Hey, look, Tyler learned. He went over and walked in the healing circle to get some healing. So I wait for the mana bombs to go out. I did get picked, so I have plenty of time. I do not need to hit that orb to get me that magic dot yet. Now I picked it up, and now I can keep on damaging. Now, if I would have picked it before, and then I would have had to deal with the burst damage from the circle on me and the dot, that's how you can die on this fight very quickly. But we're at 18% health, so we're already near the end of this boss. Mana bombs is coming out. I got picked, so I can't, because I will die. I will, particularly with this amount of health. I had 2%. Like I said, I used all of that versatility, all 34%. We finish off Vexamus here, and it looks like I ended at 409k DPS on Vexamus. That was, of course, with Lust. And now we have one more pretty decent sized pull before the final area to get to the Echo of Doragosa. And this is something we normally do, but we'll pull all these together. And then I'm just going to AoE down. So this is just going to be everything minus True Shot, but this is going to be a good opportunity for me to do some good damage, but also melt the cooldown or the remaining cooldown of True Shot. And there aren't really super priority interrupts. The Surge would be, something to interrupt. Honestly, just interrupt anything is never going to be a bad thing. Lecture. That was what I was thinking of for the stupid books before Vexamus. It's Lecture. Any other information I should tell you? I have notes for these, and I overall, though, I thought we did really well. I think I ended this dungeon at 768k overall, so really, really good damage, and it's going to continue to go up from there as I add more items to my build, and then perfect the build for the rest of the tier. And I will be doing quite a few more Mythic Plus dungeon runs. I didn't think I was going to, but I got a new group to try out some stuff, so I figured, what the heck, let's push ourselves to see. Maybe we can get to 3k before the end of the pre-patch. So here, these are pretty standard. Unfortunately, they're not like the war, it's not war scouts, but the guys that spin to win over in Brackenhide, where you can purge it off. Unfortunately, you cannot do that here. But I got my True Shot up, so I'm going to go ahead and send it again. Really, really good damage. And if you want a priority interrupt, you want to interrupt the Invoker when they have arcane missiles on somebody, because that can do a ton of damage and pretty much flat out just kill somebody. And so if you get arcane missiles on you, what you can do is use Feign Death, and it will drop off the cast. And so it'll immediately stop what it's doing. That way you don't have to waste and interrupt. So we did lose, looks like we lost the warrior there, but again, there's just a ton of AoE kind of blender going on right now that I don't have to worry about. I actually think in comms, which I did not record the comms portion of our run, I think they said the same thing. And they were like, we want to have some more mid-range abilities. Just need to be a Ret Paladin, you'll have all that mid-range, or maybe a Survival Hunter. It'd be a little bit easier on the repair bill. But we are marching very close to the very end here and the Echo of Doragosa. So we've got this one last pull. They did a really nice job of pulling everything. There wasn't anything in this dungeon I hadn't pulled before. I just hadn't pulled it in the same cadence. So I learned something, and I definitely know if I got this key again, it would be significantly easier to probably even get 50k, maybe even more, compared like for an entire dungeon than I did in this. That's how confident I think I would be after seeing the way this group pulls the dungeon the first time. And then I don't have a full breakdown at the end of this video, unfortunately. This was done last night, and I'm recording this on Wednesday evening, and I've already lost that information. So I do apologize for that. That's something that I want to start adding to my videos because that's something that you guys asked for. So I do apologize for that, and hopefully in the future videos I will have all that information. So here we have 5 minutes left. I about die immediately. We have 5 minutes left on our lust, so we are not going to be able to lust, but that is not a big deal. So Echo of Doragosa isn't too scary. In fact, I'm going to put my back to most of the orbs through this encounter. And whenever the vacuum, or I guess that's not technically vacuum comes up afterwards, but the pull in, you can just disengage back. Just make sure you watch out for that breath beam, and then plus by me being out here, I have a better chance of baiting it away from where everybody's standing. We're at basically 75% health on Echo of Doragosa already, and she has a large health pool, but the mechanics are pretty easy to deal with even on a Tyrannical week, unless she just continues to pick the same person and you just get super unlucky. You just want to watch how many stacks you have, and I'm just going to continue to do the rotation. I want to make sure and dodge that breath there. It can be a little bit bigger than you think it's going to be. Here comes the disengage out here. I have 2 stacks, so I am going to be taking some damage here. And I couldn't remember if she drops the circle or you drop the circle at 3 stacks or not. So I'm going to be very careful here over the next minute or so as we get to 50% health on Echo of Doragosa. And then I have my defensives. I have 3 defensives ready to go should I get picked. So again, I just dodged the breath there. Less that we have to worry about. I actually soaked an orb on the way in. I didn't realize I did that when this was live, so that means 4 stacked 100% drops the big ouchie on the ground, so you do want to watch out for that. With this true shot, I probably could have held it a little bit longer, but I do have those 3 stacks, so I figured, what the heck, let's go ahead and send it. I have the energy orb, so I'm going to, once I get this, it should drop the poop on the ground, so I want to be sure and not drop it in the middle of the area where I want to be standing. So that's just making sure that you're watching your stacks and just being a good steward of the stacks, as Zaft would say. But they changed this fight, made it significantly easier. So she just has a lot of health, and as long as you don't kill yourself, or stand in the beam, which I guess is killing yourself, I think you'll do a-okay. So I did get the bomb again here, so I'm going to go ahead and just stay away from the group. Again, I could have been up there with them, but I was just working on baiting as much as possible, and I don't think anybody had a problem with that because I wasn't getting myself killed. But I hope you guys enjoyed this run. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Be sure and follow me over at Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Eggplant. I have a lot more videos out soon. I hope you guys will check those out. Thank you guys for watching. Best of luck in your run, and I'll see you next time.